Hey girl, let's talk about those flaky friends for a second. You know the ones. They promise to hang out, then cancel at the last minute. Over it? Same. Imagine this instead. The Meet the World Writers Cruise, setting sail August 29th, 2025 from Miami. New faces, good vibes, and no one flaking on you. It's just you, a group of ambitious, like-minded writers, and some well-deserved fun in the sun. And here's the kicker. Only 30 cabins and the first 15 signups get a $200 discount. Why wait around for those friends to come through? Make new ones. Write your story and have the time of your life. Now is the time to write your future bestseller.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your girl, Dr. Rhonda M. Lawson, and I am back with another episode of the Horizons Author Lounge. And I'm so excited because I have two powerhouse ladies who are here and they're about to bring it. And they're going to be talking all about how you can market yourself and how you can make yourself that bestseller, how you can make yourself that world-renowned speaker, how you can continue to increase your platform. And I'm here for it, and I will be taking notes, and I hope all of you do the same. So without any further ado, I'm going to bring on my first guest. She's as lovely as her name, Miss Lovely Marshall. Hello, ma'am, Eventbrite millionaire.
Hello, beautiful. Oh my gosh. I love it. I haven't seen you since October. So much has changed.
I know. I was like, I'm so glad we kind of stayed in touch a little bit because I didn't really get a chance to have a conversation with you because we were both going so many different places. So when I saw that you reached out to me, I was excited. I was like, yes, lovely. We get to finally talk. So how have things been with you?
It has been amazing. So y'all, just to give y'all a bit of a background story, Dr. Rhonda was the powerhouse. She interviewed all of the authors on Saturday, and I was able to join the National Black Authors Festival here in Houston, Texas. It's coming back again next year, so make sure that you are there. And she just did such an incredible session. She was interviewing everyone. And I did a session, but I was not an author. And one of the ladies was like, well, how do you know this stuff if you're not an author? And I was like, don't worry about it. By this time next year, I'm going to be an author. And I am. Like, I'm so excited about it that, like, to have my books and stuff, just listening to your insights, all of your amazing people who they bring on here. And I will say it's so much easier than what I had thought. And so excited.
Well, you've got to tell us about the book. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
Did you?
So the name of the book is called The Eventbrite Millionaire. And it's really just about how we can turn everyday meetings into opportunities. This really just kind of came out of a lot of people who I know they have so much going on, so much expertise, but they really don't know how to like monetize this. And Eventbrite has been a platform that I have used to go from being unknown to being like a global icon, from having people from Dubai and Singapore kind of helping me out. And so I wrote about my experience with Eventbrite. I thought it was going to be, when I first had thought about writing a book years ago, it was like how Eventbrite allowed me to meet my husband, but that didn't happen.
Now, did you meet your husband on Eventbrite?
No, I met my husband through high school, but I just thought it would be like some fabulous story about that, but no, that didn't happen. So then it was like how Eventbrite was really just such an easy platform that the difference between Eventbrite and Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, people go to Eventbrite actually expecting to spend money. When you go to those other places, they're called social media for a reason because it's social. And so I've been able to leverage live events, on Eventbrite to not only just do my coaching program, provide my expertise of me working at Facebook, but also being able to write a book about it. And it's been amazing. Like, I just got a Forbes release today talking about the book. So it's been an incredible journey since October.
Well, you just mentioned Forbes, and I know that you are connected with Forbes as well. How did all that come to play?
So I was bold about it. I had listened to this.
Just to cut you off for a second, because I remember the one tiny conversation we were able to have, and you said, I was able to get this because I asked for it. So I knew you were a bold person.
So that literally like is how it happened. Even with the Eventbrite, I saw with books, a lot of people write self-help books, but they're not strategic about it. Like, nobody knows Lovely Marshall. Like, yeah, my life is amazing, but nobody knows about me. So being able to write my book and seeing the Eventbrite Millionaire, writing my book, podcast Power Plays, and mentioning these podcast people who are big names, then that helps to get you bestsellers. That helps to get you sponsorship. And so I was very strategic about it. Like, I didn't want to just write a book that didn't have where people would buy it. And so I'm like, if nobody else buys my book, Eventbrite will buy my book. Like, I could at least get a partnership with Eventbrite. And that's literally like how it happened with Forbes. It was, nobody knows Lovely Marshall, but I do have a story to tell. And Forbes is the biggest platform. TechCrunch is the biggest platform. Like, I'm just going to just pitch my idea to them. And the worst thing they can do is to say no. The same thing with you. Like, your authors thing, you have a huge platform with Facebook. I'm not even an author yet, but I was like, I know by the time I get on her class, I'll be an author. So I'm going to just at least sign up.
And you did that too.
So that's that I think, like, the more of the story, like, even things that I've seen about you, you're doing a cruise now and you have this whole broadcast. It's just like, nobody is teaching you how to do it. Sometimes you just got to learn as you go. And I just really applaud you for that. You really been a pioneer with that, to letting me see like what is possible.
Thank you for saying that, because I'll tell you, and this is probably true for many people who do what I do, or many people in the literary industry. The literary industry can sometimes be very solitary because you're doing a lot of writing, you're trying to do a lot of hustling. So you stay at home by yourself a lot because you're in front of your computer making phone calls or writing. Or whatever. And sometimes when you're from the inside looking in, you're like, is all of this really worth it? Is this really paying off? Am I accomplishing anything? So when somebody sees you from the outside and they give you your flowers, it does mean a lot. So I want to thank you.
Yeah, no, I want to thank you for doing that. Like, and I want to thank Miss Gwen too, because she didn't know me at all. I wasn't an author, but I worked at Facebook, so I know a lot. Like, I know a lot more than these influencers who say, "Oh, do these things, do that things." I'm like, no, they lie. That's not how it works. If you are on Facebook, we want you to be on there.
Those people will have you exhausted. Post 5 times a day.
Yes.
And then 10 minutes before you post, 10 minutes after you post.
Yes. No, it's not. And it's not that, like, and then there's so much to do. Like, you don't just need to post. Like, now, incredible. I just want to shout out the amazing Instagram team who built notes. And so now you have notes where you could literally say, like, I saw you do it. I saw you do your shameless plug. You were like, hey, I'm having the cruise and the last thing for this, where you literally can use notes now as a different form that people see, because the messages is like the best way to do it. So then they can click on your profile and learn more. Like, you don't just have to post. You don't have to just do reels. There's so many ways that people can do it. I mean, like, I got followers just by commenting when you interview Omar. And I was just like, oh my God, yo, like I've been in love with him since Fly Girl. And everybody else started like commenting and stuff. So you don't have to just even post to do it. Commenting sometimes can get you followers and things. And it's just so much that you can do. And like you said, don't be exhausted by these influencers. They tell you to do it because that's the way that they did it, but you don't have to be exhausted. Most of us, we got jobs, we're authors, we're moms, we're wives. We can't do it all at the same time. But I guarantee you, Instagram will be so happy the fact that you are on our platform. Like they're just happy that you are there. So whether you're posting, you're commenting, your DM, that will help you to do it. Now, there are little tricks in place, but don't go crazy that you don't do anything at all. So just do something, like do what you're comfortable with. And then just next week, you learn how to do a carousel. And then the week after that, you learn how to do a reel. And then the week after that, you learn how to do the note with the music. Like, just don't feel overwhelmed. And I really just always try to encourage people that like, just post when you feel inspired. You can't post 5 times a day, all day, because then you're not getting things done. So just post when you feel inspired. And those are the ones that really people will like really love. Like, I'm a part of your broadcast. So if you all are not a part of her broadcast, she has this private group where she shares so many amazing insights. And I just love that because it's not every day. You're not spamming us, but it's little insights where I'm like, oh my God, this person is coming on your podcast. So I get to learn a little bit about you that I don't get a chance to see all the time because I'm not live at that time or I'm not on there. But as soon as I open my messages, I get to, you know.
Well, see, thank you for mentioning the broadcast because, you know, the broadcast is another one. It's because it's very quiet and only the person who owns the broadcast is the one who posts. So sometimes you don't always know when people see it, then unless they put a like, because they're not allowed to respond on the broadcast. So it's good to know that people are actually still seeing the broadcast and that they're getting something out of it. So you're just full of sunshine, and I guess that's why you're wearing all the colors, because it just shows you being a bright, cheery, and then you got the color, the glitter on your eyes. I'm not mad at you, girl.
Hey, we have to do something. Like you said, we're authors, we're heads down all day. I just went literally today to get an IV drip because, you know, you're drained, you're writing all day. You're following up, you're doing these podcasts. And so you need to have those moments. So that's why I'm so full of energy. I went to treat myself at this place. And I did a multivitamin IV drip to really help with boosting my energy and, you know, pushing me through that writer's block.
I've heard of those drips. I've never met anybody yet who's actually used them. So I'm glad that you mentioned that.
Yeah, it's a really great way. Go through Groupon, save money. Go through Groupon.
All about saving money now.
Get it done for free. Like it's normally $200, but then like with the Groupon, it's only $75, and it really, you will be amazed with how it helps you to give you that boost of energy. Like I said, I just got mine, so I don't know how long it'll last, but I have a podcast with you, and then I have several of them this week. And so I knew I need to be high energy. And I needed something to help me over the hump while I'm doing the formatting. And I feel like what I learned from you and other people is the book process is easy. Writing a book is easy. It's the formatting and the editing and the promoting and the marketing. That's the hard part.
And writing is not the hard part because that's when you get to create. That's when you get to have fun with it. But when you actually, just like you said, the formatting and the editing and then the marketing, that's where the real work begins. So I'm glad that you see that early. But another thing that I'm glad that you're doing is that I tell people all the time that every business owner needs a book. If you are a business owner and you don't have any type of calling card or something to show people that you are an expert in what you do, then you're leaving money on the table. You know, you branded yourself as the Eventbrite millionaire. How would I know that you're the Eventbrite millionaire if I'm not able to read your book, or if I'm not able to see you in action? Or how can I learn from you? And so instead of me picking your brain every 5 minutes saying, lovely, can you tell me how this happens? Lovely. What if I want to do that? You can say, I have this whole book right here that you read, and it'll give you all of the insight that you need. And then are you keeping people from picking your brain? But what you're also doing is you're creating some passive income.
Absolutely.
You're setting yourself up as a expert in your field.
I love this. This is such a cool thing. I might have to switch over to StreamYard. Restream. Y'all gotta step y'all game up. StreamYard is doing some things. I love this. Oh, this is so cool. Absolutely. And Dr. Rhonda, you brought on a young lady, and she said how she went from unknown to like unforgettable because of her book. And I am really learning that what I learned about my business. I left Facebook last August, and I now I'm speaking with Verizon. I'm speaking with Afrotech. I have Forbes. I'm partnering with so many people, Restream and Podmatch, like all of these things. But it really was because it was like, oh, in my book, I'm talking about this, and I would like to talk to your audience about it. It just really opened the door for me to establish myself. So listen, y'all, don't just be listening to this. It's the reason why it's called the Author's Lounge. Like, listen to it, but apply it. Because I was like y'all, where I was just listening like, oh, I'm gonna do it. But like, just take bite size. She does little things like just take bite size. Like one time she talked about just writing a journal or writing a workbook. Like maybe you can't do the big book, but like listen to those tools that she's saying, because she's going live all the time. She's sharing all of this stuff. And just try little ones, because it can, like we said, it can get overwhelming, but just try it bite size. Like start with maybe the prayer journal, because then that'll get you in the door, and then go to the workbook, and then go to the book. Like if you don't have time to do the full book, but just listen to the nuggets. Like she goes live all the time, and then you can literally rewatch all of her stuff. Like I literally go to it and I just rewatch some of her stuff sometimes, like while I'm cooking or cleaning up, because you will learn little things that other people say. And I know I keep like promoting you, but I promise I just pay attention a lot.
And I appreciate that. But I do want to make sure you're giving yourself some flowers too. So now tell me about some of the things in your book that you are discussing. I mean, what are people going to learn from reading your book? And first of all, hold it up.
Oh, my book. Oh, I don't have it. up. I gotta I did not think about doing that. Shoot. I'm gonna have to share my screen and be able to do it.
It is okay. It is okay. Well, tell us what we can learn.
I'm gonna write that down. So for next time, I have it for my podcast, because I'm on podcast all this week. Oh shoot. Okay.
Yes. Always have your book with you, especially if it's a
video. I must have my book with me. So with Verizon, that I am partnering with them with, it's called Podcast Power Plays, and it talks about how a podcast is literally the way of how I got my Facebook job. A little bit about me. I worked at Facebook, made almost 2 million in less than 3 years. And it was a podcast that I did because the podcast prepared me those dreaded questions of like, what do you do? And how can you do this? A podcast like how we're talking now, you're sharing yourself, you're giving your insights. Podcast really prepares you for that. And with Verizon, they have this Ask the Expert, where they're looking for businesses, owners to share their insights that nobody else is talking about. So my podcast Power Plays is really about how a podcast gives you the digital footprint, like how I shared with you about your podcast. I can watch episodes of you of 10 years ago. On Instagram, I got to keep scrolling. I literally can search YouTube, say, I want to watch your episode with Omar. I want to see how you promoted your cruise. I can see all of that and just search it right away. It's your digital footprint versus with the post, it disappears, the stories, it goes away, and it gives you authority. So I'm doing a lot with that. And then with Eventbrite Millionaire, it's all about how I, as a tech leader, help to get with Amazon and Hilton in how we test the product. So there's a lot of Amazon sellers out there. There's a lot of med spa people, and they're like, how do I get my product out? And you get your product out through live events where you sell your knowledge and say like, hey, we have this spa care and I'll show you how you can apply this makeup, and you join my class for $10. But because you join my class, I'll give you a freebie, and I'm telling you how to learn things. And so that platform that a lot of people look at is for Eventbrite. They don't go to necessarily LinkedIn. They don't go to Facebook. While they have Facebook events and LinkedIn events, the biggest thing that Eventbrite just did, which is why I love with you that you do most, is this partnership collaboration. So Eventbrite partnered with TikTok. And now all of your events on Eventbrite automatically goes to TikTok. So it just literally every single time I post my Eventbrite, it goes directly to TikTok. And then I get thousands of views because TikTok is directly promoting this event. And so it's just been a game changer for my business.
I'm gonna have to go ahead and download your book tonight. Y'all hear this? This is what you call free game. It's not free because you're gonna buy her a book, but this is the type of information that we need to know, because it's not just about writing a book and hoping people buy it. There are so many different revenue streams that you can open by having a book, and we're going to talk more about that with the next guest as well. But I hope that everybody's listening to this, because I feel like I have been using Eventbrite, but I don't feel like I've been using it to its fullest potential, because just listening to you, there's some more things I should be doing.
It definitely is. It definitely is. Like I said, if nobody else get anything out of this, is pay attention to how when you search for things on Eventbrite, you're expected to spend money. Like, whether it's a date, if you're going for a networking event, if it's even a book club that you want to learn about more with a book club and doing a book tour, when I'm going on LinkedIn or YouTube, you're expected to just learn, and you want to chat, you want to socialize with people. And so Eventbrite provides a different platform with a different frame set that people have in mind that, hey, I know by coming here, I expect to spend money. So what is the money that I want, and how do I go about doing it? So I'm so excited to see you leverage it a lot more, because you got a huge following.
Thank you so much. I wish we could talk longer. We've got to get you back on the show. I feel like with you and Melanie, who's coming on next, and I know a couple other really great powerhouse folks, we should be doing a whole panel discussion and call it the Power Hour, because there are some folks out there who have incredible platforms that they just need to take to the next level. And people like you are people who can inspire them to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm so excited. Thank you so much for this amazing honor. Thank you. So for those of you all who are like, I don't have my book yet, schedule to be on podcast, because it will force you to do it. And like, I just learned something new. Like, I have the book and then I didn't have it here to show. Now I'm learning for next time. The only way to go about sometimes doing things is just taking action, because it will force you. You want to be known as an author. You don't want to just be on here and not being an author. So by having those things in play, you will be surprised by how your body gets in emotion, and you get inspiration, and amazing things like happen. So I hope that that's what your guest gets out of this.
Well, thank you so much, Lovely. And how can we find your book?
Yes, so you can purchase my book on Amazon or on Apple. I just got the approval for Apple, and it's the Eventbrite Millionaire. Or you can purchase Podcast Power Plays, and it's about how you can turn everyday conversations into customer. And for those of you all who wanting to know more about Eventbrite, if you comment Powerhouse, like if you DM me at Eventbrite Millionaire on all social media platforms, and you just DM me Powerhouse, I will provide you with access to learn one of more of my in-depth where it's a create your Eventbrite with me class that I'm hosting in April as just a free gift of you all being on Dr. Rhonda's show.
Well, I'm going to tell you, I will be there and I will be taking notes. I'm so glad to know that you learned a lot from me because I'm learning a lot from you as well. I think that's what this is all about. And you have a fan in me. And I'm really glad that people stay in touch.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Rhonda. Thank you to the amazing listeners and all of your past guests and future guests. Like, I hope everybody knows this is really like powerful. Like this 30-minute power hour, you are really just changing lives.
Thank you so much. Well, you have a wonderful evening. God bless you. Keep doing what you're doing.
All right. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
You too. Bye-bye. Okay. You can't tell me that you weren't inspired by this. I know you. Don't even try to jump on my live and tell me that you weren't inspired. But what I do want you to do is if you have been listening for the last 30 minutes, I want you to hang out because I'm about to bring in another powerhouse. I told you this is going to be a great night, and I hope you all are taking notes because this lady who I'm bringing on to the screen right now, Miss Melanie Bonita, she has some things for you. And tell the people what you call yourself, ma'am.
The book boss lady.
Book boss lady. Welcome to the Horizons Author Lounge. I think this is my first time having you actually in the lounge.
Yes, ma'am. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me. I greatly appreciate it. And I love Lovely. I met her in at Houston, Texas as well at the event. And I just love her energy. And it's just a pleasure. I learned a lot from her myself. Look, I've used Eventbrite and I have made lots of money from Eventbrite, but I'm about to turn up the heat. I literally was just telling someone yesterday to go to Eventbrite to look for events because she just moved to her area. She's like, I don't know where to go. I don't know who to find, how to find events to do, speaking engagements and book signings and all kinds of vendor events. I'm like, you're in Atlanta. Go to Eventbrite. You see
There's always something going on in Atlanta.
Always. That's what I was telling her. I said, just go to Eventbrite and Facebook events, and literally you'll be able to find tons and tons and tons of events to do book signings at.
Yes, absolutely. So now we had just ended the conversation talking about how you can take your book and you can open up a number of different revenue streams and how you can build your platform. But I know you can talk the whole 30 minutes about that because that's what you do. But before you do that, I would love it if you would just introduce yourself. Tell the people who you are.
Yes, ma'am. I am Melanie Bonita, the book boss lady. I help authors become Amazon bestsellers and six-figure authors. And I currently have 10 number one Amazon best-selling books. I do have 2 of them with me. I have some here.
Background. I know it's a beautiful home behind you. Yeah, hold the book like right here. I want to be able to see it. Yeah. There we go.
Yes, this one's Daily Dose of Determination. This one is my first book, and I've actually literally had people tell me that book have kept them from committing suicide, have brought them out of a depression, have helped them write their book, start their business, start their ministry. I have so many testimonies just from this first book. I always like to tell people who God gave them a vision for a book, or they're thinking about writing a book, or they haven't started them. I always tell them, who would be dead as a result of you not writing your book?
Wow, that's a heavy question.
It is, because a lot of people think, oh, I just have a vision for a book, or this is a great idea, or this is an idea. No, there was a reason why God that it was planted in you. Somebody needs what you have. It's so important. And I have people tell me all the time, oh, nobody's going to read my book. It's about self-confidence. A lot of people don't even want to write it because they're scared, and they don't even think anybody is going to read their book. Excuse me. They don't think anyone's going to read their book, buy their book. And so they're already talking themselves out of it before they even write the book.
Right.
Yeah. It's sad, but it's true.
Well, it's easy. I actually said this to a coworker today. Sometimes the story that we tell ourselves is worse than what the real story actually is. And so it's so easy for us to talk ourselves out of doing something because our mind is telling us that we're not good enough. Who would listen to us? Or everybody's already written about that. And they don't need my voice. And so we talk ourselves out of it, and we wind up talking ourselves out of a blessing at the same time.
Absolutely. I totally agree. It's like, why are we talking ourselves out of it? Instead of saying, what if this don't happen? What if I sell 1 million books? Right? Hey, Crystal, my cousin Crystal's here supporting me. Hey, what if I do sell out? What if I do get speaking engagement opportunities as a result of releasing this book? Let's think about the positive and the what if positives opposed to the what if nobody shows. I literally supported one of my friends on her book release event, and she just kept crying and crying and crying. And she said that's why she put writing off her book for so many years. She said she didn't think nobody would show up. She didn't think anyone would show up. Hey, Gia. Yes, Gia, another supporter. I tell you, people don't realize people want to support you. People want to help you. They want to be there for you. Now, of course, you may have a handful of people that may be jealous and haters and may not, but the majority of people that they're rooting for you, they're like, oh, go, 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 keep moving forward, keep doing other things, because that is the reality, is that we have to be in a position and say, no, I'm not going to stay in the same place. I'm going to get out everything I put in me. I'm not going to be like, what Dr. Miles Monroe say, the richest place is the graveyard, because so many people die with their dreams in them.
That's it. Oh, you're just dropping all the bombs tonight.
Yeah, that's why I love podcasts. That's like what she was just saying, what Lovely was just saying. It's like so much information could come out in podcasts, and we have to be mindful of, we can't just stick to ourselves. Matter of fact, it's so funny. She said she has podcasts all week. Well, tonight I have another one right after this. I have one at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I'm like, okay, guys, this is so funny. I just came back from Atlanta. Like I said, I had a 4-day event, book signing in Atlanta. And so it's like, we got to keep moving. We have to keep moving. We have to keep shaking, and we have to keep ourselves out there, so to speak. And it doesn't necessarily have to always be online, like you said. You know what I mean? It can be at events. When I was at that event, I got a speaking engagement in Baton Rouge just from being at that event, and I wasn't even a speaker at that event. I had a vendor table and selling my books, but the reality is I made a decision to invest in myself and say, okay, you know what, I'm going to get a table. I'm not just going to attend this conference, but I'm going to get a table, sell my books. And from that, of course, I sold a lot of the other book that I have here. I do want to talk about this real quick, because this one is Daily Dose of Direction for Women in Business, or women that want to start their own business. And there's a lot of women that they're like, oh, I want to start a business and I don't know where to start. Now, this doesn't give you the blueprint, but it gives you biblical principles. But as a woman in business, or a woman that want to start your own business, it's a devotional. So what do I need to do? How do I do it? What kind of prayers can I pray to help get this business started? So yeah, it's I sold a lot of those books, even though, hey, Audrey, she's in my 6-Figure Author Academy also. So, I mean, I have I'm so glad y'all support lots and lots and lots of supporters here. And like I said, people, and Audrey has several books. And that's the thing she was just on a billboard with us in New York Times Square for Women's International Day. I help authors get on billboards as well. So it's like, we don't have to stick to that one stream of income. Hey, Debbie. Yeah, we don't. And Debbie's going to be a co-author in my next book. Say that again.
Awesome. Okay. And that's a great way to segue into what I originally asked you. So now a person has written a book, And I'm gonna preface this by saying when I go to events, I do events for the long game. It's nice if you purchase my book, but I also want you to be a future client.
Yes.
I also want you to invite me to be on your podcast.
Yes.
I also want you to do some work with me. I mean, there are so many different things that you can do, but sometimes we get our minds stuck on I didn't sell enough books.
Mm-mm.
Right. And there are just so many ways that you can take that book and build your platform. So now that I've said that, I'm going to turn it over to you, Miss Melanie. Because I already know you can talk the rest of the show about this.
Well, Dr. Rhonda, it's funny because like you said, people are focused on, I want to sell a book. I want to sell a book. And yes, you want to sell a book, but the networking, it's like, have you heard the term, your network determines your net worth?
Exactly.
Networking at this event with people that are where you want to go, and people like Lovely Forbes. She's connected to Forbes. She's the event where she has all these things. Like, connect with those that are where you want to be, and that can help catapult you to the next dimension. It really only takes one person. One person can take you to the next dimension. One idea can take you to the next dimension. One book. And it's like, we have to keep driving forward and we can't focus on just the one thing. I didn't sell enough books, because when I go, I don't just go just to sell books anyway. Like I said, I'm already strategizing. Okay, well, I need to meet this person. I need to meet that person. I need to network with that person. I need to make sure not just selling books, but I sell, wristbands and bracelets and shirts, like the shirt I have on that says, I am a six-figure author. There were people at that event this weekend that weren't even authors, but that bought this shirt because they were speaking those things as being not as though they were. And so it's like, you have to think forward-minded. It's okay, well, what's the next, not only networking event I'm going to have, but what other products and services can I sell? Can I sell a $1,500 billboard opposed to a $15 book? I mean, you know what I mean? It's like, don't just focus on what kind of coaching client. Book signers, I get coaching clients all the time. I get people that join my Six-Figure Author Academy as well. So it's like, there's so much bigger picture when we have so much more to offer. And I think a lot of people need to look deep within themselves, especially authors, and say, what else can I offer in addition to this book?
Right. And what I think sometimes authors forget is that when you write a book, depending on the type of book you're writing about, you are now a expert. You're an expert in that field. For instance, think about Michael Baisden when he wrote his book. I think the first book was Maintenance Man, if I'm not mistaken. When he wrote that book, he started doing speaking engagements because he already had a little bit of a platform, but he started doing speaking engagements. And he was talking about being happily single. And so he started being invited to do speaking engagements just on relationships, on being a happily single person. And as he built his platform, he started doing the radio shows. But that started with a fiction book. So don't think that just because your book is fiction, that you're not going to be an expert in something. I wrote a book called Twilight. And no, it's not about vampires. But I wrote a book called Twilight, which is about teenage sexual assault. So I started reaching out to organizations so I can talk about teenage sexual assault. And that I wrote the book, even though it's fiction, I wrote it from experiences of being a sexual assault victim's advocate. And so I had all these stories swirling around, and I said, I want to write a story about about a victim's advocate who goes through trying to help her young client, and she gets wrapped up in the case. And that's what Twilight was all about. But writing Twilight helped me to build a platform for being a sexual assault victims advocate expert, so to speak. So I can do those things. So that's why I said just because you wrote fiction does not mean that you can't be an expert in a certain subject.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you. I totally agree. Yes, ma'am.
So now tell me, ma'am, I know we talked a lot, but maybe kind of walk me through. Okay, I've written a book. What do I do next?
Of course, I was one of those people that I am a researcher and I study. And so I don't feel like in 2025, you have to study the way I did in 2011 when I wrote my first book, right? Now you have Google, you have all kinds of classes, you have YouTube University, you have Chat GPT, and
Yes.
all kinds of other what's the word I want to use? Resources, right? All kinds of AI that can help you promote your book. But the key thing is you don't want to do is think that the book is going to promote itself. And
Right.
that's what a lot of authors do. They write the book and they just, okay, some of them don't even have a launch. I'm finding out some of them don't even have like a book launch, a virtual book launch or in person. I'm like, what do you mean you're not having a launch? I don't understand. And so I think that's the thing that sometimes authors just don't know what to do. So get a coach, get someone like you or get someone like me to say, hey, what do I do next? How do I do a book launch, a proper book launch? How do I start promoting my book 3 to 6 months before it released? Some people wait till, a week before, oh, I'm getting ready to release my book. No, that's not how you do it. But what you don't know, you don't know. In the Bible, it talks about uh, it talks about asking for wisdom, right? Because a lot of times you don't know. The lack of wisdom can keep you from getting to where you need to be, right? And so we just have to make sure we're asking the right people. Like I said, when I meet someone that's where I want to be, I start going, okay, well, let me train from them. Let me invest from them. Let me hire this coach because they're already where I want to be, right? They're already a New York Times bestseller or they're already a millionaire. So I would recommend finding someone that is where you are and learn from them. Hang on to their coattails. Join their academy if they have one. Join whatever it is you can. Watch their podcast, right? So that you can be a student of students. And even though I have 10 number one Amazon best-selling books, and even though I am a 6-figure author, I still go to trainings. I still read books about how to promote. I still learn strategies and want to learn more because there's always something to learn. Like she talked about making money from Eventbrite tonight. There's of course Amazon ads. There's you could do lives from Etsy now. You could do lives on Amazon, which a lot of people don't even know that.
Well,
So,
I just now that you mentioned that, and I was gonna keep it to myself for a little while because I wanted to check it out first and see if it's worth it. But I'm gonna let y'all know because y'all don't listen anyway. But I just found out about this new platform called Whatnot. Have you heard of Whatnot, Melanie?
I haven't. It's so funny. Someone told me about a new platform last week, but it wasn't called Whatnot. It was like Waveful or something. There's new platforms that are coming out like every week nowadays. Yeah.
Now, this new platform is specifically for selling. You go live and promote, you sell your stuff. People will enter your room. Everybody who goes on that platform is going on there for the sole purpose of buying something. So you already have basically a warm audience. But they go on for different things. Some people are selling umbrellas. Some people are selling skin products. Some people are selling this or that. But you go on there and just talk about your books for 30 minutes, maybe, or an hour.
Okay.
If nobody buys your book, you have a video, cut it up and make it into some content.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah, so it's not a waste of time. I actually learned about this from the King, Gary V. I love it. I love V. But he happened to be talking about it. So let me go see what this thing is about. So I downloaded it and looked, and people were actually selling their stuff. So just think about you as an author who has a new book and you want to do your book launch on Whatnot, and then the people in the room purchase your book. If only 10 people in the room and 10 people buy your book, you didn't have to go on a book signing for that.
Do you have a referral link for that? You need to share that, Dr. Rhonda. Look,
That's why I said I was going to keep it to myself because I hadn't used it yet. And I didn't. I can't speak on it and say it's going to be great, but just from what I've seen so far, I think this
Right.
could be a game changer for a lot of authors.
Oh, and it's called What Not. Wow. I'm definitely gonna. It sounds like it's almost like a TikTok shop on steroids.
Right, right.
Huh.
So I
And
mean,
it's an app.
yeah, it's an app. You just it'll ask you what you're interested in, and then it only shows you rooms of things that you're interested in, which is another good thing. If you click books, then it's going to bring you lives of people selling books or book related stuff. So
Wow. That is so phenomenal. I wonder how many buyers. Do you know how many buyers they have on there?
well, some rooms have more than others. There were some rooms that had like 70 some people in there. There were some rooms that only had a few people in there. But like I said, even if nobody buys your stuff, you have hours worth of content that you can cut up and put on TikTok or YouTube. And that's how I learned about it. Gary Vee was just on there answering questions for people and selling his stuff at the same time. And I saw it not because I was watching Whatnot. I saw it on YouTube. He took the whole video and put it on YouTube, so he's able to monetize that. So,
Okay, wait a minute. It says 8%.
It was 8%.
We have to pay them 8% of what we sell. And there's a payment, there's a 3%, 2.9% processing fee. Oh, look, I look at all that.
But see, some people are going to see something like that and they're going to get nervous.
No, but it's no need to get nervous because 8% is cheaper than what you pay on Amazon.
Exactly.
Look, 8%. Look, I was about to say that next. 8% is not bad at all. That's actually phenomenal. You're not going to go anywhere.
I thought you were about to see the phone was at 8% and you were about to
Oh no, I was about to say 8% because even if it's an ebook on Amazon, you're giving them 30% if your book is $2.99, your ebook is $2.99 and $9.99. You're only, and you're still only making 35% if your book is not $2.99 or $9.99. You're giving them 65% on your ebook and in the paperback. So yeah, oh no, even in regular bookstore, even some churches take 40 to 50%.
That's what I was going to say. I mean, that's what I was going to say. So it's you can try to sell your books all by yourself and not pay anybody a percentage.
Oh no.
Or you can go ahead and pay the 8% because, like you just said, Melanie, it's cheaper than the 40% you're going to pay the bookstore.
Right. You even going to pay Eventbrite. And they have all kinds of fees now. I remember at one point they weren't as expensive as they are now. You got to pay a monthly fee and you got to pay the ticket fee. And you go to a vending event, 90, even at the military base, they don't take anything up front, but they still want they cut after you sold your products and services. So, what you say? I tell people all the time, look, it doesn't matter. Even if you're giving Facebook ads, even if you're giving them $5 a day, you still giving them something. Instagram ads, Amazon, I don't care. You got to give them a percentage. And the bottom line is they're allowing you to use their platform and they already have buyers. 8% is nothing. That's why I'm excited about the 8% because 8% is I don't know I don't know how much TikTok shop is, but I don't know any platform that's doing less than 8%. So that's pretty good. Yeah. That's pretty good. Because I can't remember what percentage Etsy takes either. But these platforms, they look.
Don't even get started if you're trying to sell your stuff on Shopify because Shopify will charge you a monthly fee and they'll take it. So
$39 a month and what you say?
Amazon does the same thing.
Yeah. So it's I don't have a problem. Again, it's about investing in yourself. And you have to invest. Like one of my coaches, Dr. Stacia Pierce, I learned this from her, and I don't know where she learned it from. I'm just telling you, I learned this from her. She says all the time, no investment, no advancement. So if you want to advance in your author, speaking, and coaching business, you're going to need to invest in yourself. And that's just the bottom line. So it's like, what is your goal? If your goal is to sell 1 million books, Are you willing to do the ads? Are you willing to go online? Now, to go on Facebook Live, is it free? Absolutely. To go on YouTube Live, is it free? Absolutely. But you still gonna pay to get these books printed. You still gonna pay to ship the books. There's still some investment in your time, right? Your time, talent, and your treasure. It's just, there's no way out of it.
Right. You are right. So tell me, while we have a few minutes left, what are some other ways that we can build our platforms or work our way to that six figure promised land?
Well, first of all, I tell people all the time, you want to create multiple streams of income, of course, around that book. So, like I said earlier, for my first book, Daily Dose of Determination, I created a whole brand around it, Determined to Live My Dreams, a whole speaking topic, a whole coaching program, a whole clothing line. I mean, I literally created a whole brand around my first book, even though it's a daily devotional. Like I said, so I create a whole brand around it. And I tell people, if you could create a brand, or like one of my fellow authors, I love her. I've been doing book signings with her for over 10 years. Also known as Monique, and she just created a movie. I'm not sure if you know her because she lives in Baltimore, but she just created a movie like on a Lifetime, right? And now she's getting all this time. She's been getting book sales, but now she's given an overload of book signings because of this movie. Can you create a movie around your book if it's about your story? Say that again?
Or a play.
Yes, absolutely. Or a play, a movie or a play. I mean, there's so many options, so many different things you can do, but the key is you have to do something. But I believe in creating multiple streams. I believe in building your social media platform. I do. I heard what you all said earlier, posting 5 times a day. I do believe in being consistent and not just posting one every 2 or 3 months. But the reality is people buy from people they know, like, and trust. So I see people build a platform, and literally because they built a platform on YouTube, people will buy whatever they have.
That's true.
People will buy whatever. You get 100,000 followers, you can sell 100,000 books every day. I should say 100,000. You can sell 100, 500, 1,000 books every single day. And you're going to have some repeat buyers. They'll get it for gifts. They're going to get it for, but they'll buy other stuff. That's why it's always better to create more offers. You never want to have one stream of income. Ecclesiastes 11:2 in the NIV version says, invest in 7 ventures, yes, 8. You do not know what disaster may come upon the land. So I've heard this for years. The average millionaire has 7 streams of income. Have you heard that before?
I have.
Yes. And so I encourage everyone, before the end of 25, in order for you to thrive in 2025, you want to have a minimum of 7 streams of income. One could be your books. One could be speaking engagements. Another one could be a coaching platform. Another one could be making $10,000 a month from YouTube, making $10,000 a month from Facebook pays 9 different ways. A lot of people don't even know these platform pays, in addition to selling your products and services on it. But again, you got to be consistent. So I think building your social media platform up, and one of my mentors, Les Brown, he says it all the time. They didn't have social media when he was coming up selling his books and selling his cassettes and tapes, 8-track tapes and products and services. We have it easy now. And we're building a platform and selling our products and services. I mean, I literally went through a season where I was making money on Facebook every day, just inboxing people, messaging people. I went through a season where I was making money on Clubhouse every day, probably every day consistently for about 3-6 months, actually longer than that. But every day I was on that social media platform and I was giving value, and people, they knew, like, and they trusted me because I was giving value. And so it's really just about be consistent. You just have to make a decision what platform you're going to be on. Just like you just gave us that new platform. Look, I'm going to look it up. Look, if you're going to be on TikTok every day, which platform are you going to dominate? You could dominate more than one, but once you dominate one, you're going to get a lot of people following you. But the key is at least dominate one platform and go for that 10,000, 100,000, million, and get them free. People don't even know, when you have 1 million, you have 100,000 followers, you get what they call courtesy cars, the Benz dealership, the BMW dealership, Range Rover, even Rolls Royce. You get a million Rolls, they will give you courtesy vehicles. Did you know that?
No, I don't have no 100,000 followers yet. I didn't know.
Yeah, but you look now. You know that could give you a reason to strive for 100,000. I mean, they give you. I'm talking free hotel stays, travel free because of the content. I mean, it's so much involved in once you become a social media influencer. So I encourage authors to become that social media influencer so that people can buy whatever you have.
Right. Well, we've come to the end of the night, but I want to, I told you it goes
fast. That did went by fast.
Just like I told Lovely, I really believe that sometime soon, maybe next month or maybe the month after, we need to do a power hour. Because so many people, we already know that more people are putting energy into promoting their book, and they put more energy into promoting their book sometimes than they do writing their book. So I do the writing part, but every once in a while we've got to learn how to promote, and we've got to let people know that promoting is not just throwing your book on somebody's page or in somebody's group and then calling it a day. No. So I would love to have you and Lovely, and maybe we'll find a couple other really powerhouse promoters, and let's just do a nice power hour panel discussion. And
I love that, powerhouse promoters. I love that. She called me a powerhouse promoter, y'all. No, I love that because it's so funny. I'm having a book boss brunch in Atlanta in June. And I'm like, I even like that. You can have a power promoter event, you know. I love that, how that just kind of flowed, the power promoter.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah, girl, I'm excited. I'm about to put it together. So I'm going to be reaching out.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate you having me. And yes.
No, I really appreciate you coming and sprinkling your knowledge like you always do. And you did the same thing on the National Black Book Festival's Black Authors Matter TV. This is what it's all about. There's nothing wrong with sharing. It's nothing wrong with giving people some motivation and inspiration. And that's what you do. So I really thought it would be a benefit to have you on the show tonight. So thank you for accepting the invitation.
My pleasure. This was so awesome. Awesome.
Right. What any last words?
Yes, I just want to let the authors know, look, make sure you're also sharing your social media. So you all go follow me on my YouTube channel. Go subscribe to my YouTube channel. Go follow me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and just really connect. Yes, go to my website, Melanie Bonita, and get an autographed copy of one of my books, because you never know, not only get a copy for yourself, but get one for a gift. Mother's Day is coming up.
Yes.
All kinds. Yes. And we are just so excited about what we do and how we do it. And so you're getting some great, being blessed here, but it's time to be a blessing to somebody else. So even if you may not feel like, oh, I may not need that book, get it for somebody else. Amen. And so thank you. Debbie said, thank you. Well, thank you for joining us. Gia said, thank you. Thank you for all for joining us and just really supporting. Make sure you follow and subscribe to Dr. Rhonda also, if you're one of those ladies that came just to support me, because again, it's all about supporting each other, being there for each other, women supporting women. It might be some gentlemen watching as well, not just the women, authors supporting authors, yes, supporters supporting some. Yes. Oh, Audrey, I love it. Great question. See, this is what I'm talking about. If my six-figure authors be on point, she like, how can I be on the podcast? Go ahead, Dr. Rhonda. Tell her how she can be on the podcast.
Audrey, I'm gonna contact you. But for anybody else who would like to, thank you for opening the door to that. Anybody who would like to be on the show, all you have to do is go to my website, www.mtwimagesolutions.com. I'll go ahead and put it on the screen so you can see it.
Absolutely. And Audrey's actually going to be on my podcast soon, the Six-Figure Author Formula. And so, yes, awesome.
Yes.
Okay,
so
great.
Just go to my website and click on the Work With Me tab. And then when you when you see the Horizons Author Lounge, it will give you all the information that you need. You can go ahead and schedule yourself to be on the show. And if you want, you can be on the show, or you can take your appearance and take it a little bit further. So we also have other options to where you can be on the show, you can get a press release, you can get a one sheet, you can get social media content created for you. There are we'll even do a live. I have a live coming up with another author pretty soon on Amazon. So we're going to be promoting her new audiobook. So there are a lot of different ways that you can be a part of this. And I really hope that everybody who's watching will be a part of this, because we're planning on taking the Horizons Author Lounge to bigger and better heights. This is going to be a whole new lounge by the end of the year. Watch.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I can't wait. I'm so excited. And I'll send other authors to your website as well. Like I said, Audrey's a part of my 6-Figure Author Academy. So I'll let my Academy members know, hey, make sure you go be featured on the Horizons Author. And Gia's also an author. Like I said, a lot of those are on here. I have a lot of authors that are part of my network that support me, and I'm sure they would love to definitely be on your a podcast. So I'm excited.
Well, I'm excited to have them. So thanks again. I guess we have to go ahead and end the night. All right, y'all. But that is all we have for tonight. I just want to thank everybody for supporting the Horizons Author Lounge. Thank you to Melanie Bonita. Thank you to lovely Marshall. We had two amazing, phenomenal women who were on the show tonight, and I hope you were able to get a lot out of it, because I know I did. So this is the type of content that we have in Horizons Author Lounge each week. So I hope to see you guys again. I will tell you, though, there will be no show next week, but we will have a show on April 7th. And then we're going to go on hiatus until the end of April. So so there's one more show left, April 7th. I hope you'll join us. We're going all the way to Louisiana, and we're going to meet some amazing authors who are doing some great things in education. So you'll meet them, like I said, on April 7th. So I hope you guys will be there. So stick with us, follow the show. If you would like any other information about Meet the World Image Solutions and all of our activities, just tune in, go to www.mtwimagesolutions.com. So that's all we have for tonight, guys. Thanks once again. God bless you. Thank you, Melanie. Y'all have a wonderful evening. Have a great week, and I'll see you tomorrow night on Black Authors Matter TV. Bye-bye.
Bye.